Welcome to Chase Thoughts. My name's Chase, and let's talk about the Afreeca Freecs. Now, me, like many people out there, including probably the Afreeca Freecs themselves, are very disappointed so far in Afreeca Freecs' appearance at World. I would assume that they're also very disappointed in their appearance in Worlds, but granted, it has only been the first 2 days, but still, their first 2 days have been a very poor, less than stellar performance. I've been very, very disappointed. I already said that, but reinforcing it, I have been very disappointed with their appearance so far. And I just kind of wanted to break down in these 2 games what I think went wrong for the Afreeca Freecs. And it's notes that they could use moving forward and help them improve as they finish out the rest of the group stage. Now, the group stage is not lost for Afreeca Freecs. I did, like many other people, probably like many other people, put them as my favorite in Group A in my pick'ems. I did in my entire video. I was very excited about the Afreeca Freecs moving into tournament. I guess I shouldn't say very excited, but I was hopeful of the Afreeca Freecs. The Flash Wolves, on the other hand, are exceeding my expectations, not by much. I still thought they were a first or second place team, probably second. And now, after their first 2 games, they're looking like a first place team. So they are exceeding my expectations slightly, while the Afreeca Freecs is very much performing under my personal, at least, initial expectations of this team. And a lot of that focuses around their draft stage. So first, let's talk about day 1. Day 1, the Afreeca Freecs placed against G2 Esports. I'll throw up the draft right now on the screen so you guys can take a look at that, a screenshot from the video. Link to both of the YouTube videos if you want to watch these games. Haven't watched these games yet. Make sure you watch these games first, otherwise what I'm saying may not be as relevant. But I'll put both those links down in the description below. But in this game, Afreeca Freecs banned out the Urgot, the Aurelia, and the Akali. Good bans. I like it. They put 2 bans towards Perks, 2 of his assassins, and they put 1 ban against the carry of the tank top laners, taking that out of the Hand of Wonders. Great. I like it. G2 Esports responded with banning the Aatrox. They didn't want to give Keen, who's another strong carry jungler coming out of the LCK, a strong carry top laner, the arguably second strongest, or tied for first place, strongest top laner in this meta. They also banned out the Tahm Kench at Tucson, so they like to play more of those supporter champions that can help and save their big carries, and Keen, Koro, and Kramer, as well as Spirit to some extent, and then the Olaf versus Spirit, which has been a big playmaking jungler for him. In response to that, the Afreeca Freecs chose to first pick Alistar, leaving open, 100% open. It's not like they had planned to have Kuro pick up the Heimerdinger instead, or have King play the Heimerdinger, but they leave it open. They let Hjarnan play his undefeated Heimerdinger. In what world would you let Hjarnan play his Heimerdinger? He's deathless and undefeated on this champion. He's very, very good on this champion. Now, I understand the mindset of Afreeca to a point. I'm assuming their mindset, their thought process around this was the AP carry bot lane is long gone. Nobody plays the Vladimir bot lane anymore. Nobody plays the Heimerdinger bot lane anymore. Nobody plays these lanes. So G2 Esports, they're probably on practice or unwilling to pick it. And we're going to make them show that hand right now. In our first game, we're going to make them show that hand. So, because it was respect banded throughout the play-ins, we're going to show you don't need to respect band that and make G2 show their hands and say either pick it and perform on it, pick it and underperform on it, or don't pick it at all. So they wanted to throw that into the wheelhouse of G2 Esports. G2 Esports decided to make the pick. So now they're flipping the coin, 50-50 flip on whether he will perform well on it or he won't perform well. I say it's a 50-50 because it's been a while since it's been allowed. He himself said after the match, or they said after the match, I think it was him actually in the interview, that said after the match that he was on practice on it. He had not been scrimming with it because he didn't think anyone would unban it. That doesn't mean that he forgot how to play it or that it doesn't perfectly suit his playstyle, because G2 Esports likes to leave bot lane on an island. Jankos focusing more on his topside carries and Wonder and Perks. So you're giving him the perfect lane control champion that will let let Hjarnan do what Hjarnan wants to do, leaving a carry open for Wonder. So, you pick the All-Star first round, you give away that. You're like, oh crap, well, we have an answer to it. You would assume that Afreeca Freecs has an answer to it, or they're just going to think they're going to perform. They pick the Kai'Sa. Not super excited about this Kai'Sa because the Kai'Sa is just going to farm, the Heimerdinger is just going to farm, and you don't have kill pressure. The Alistar, I don't see in what world Alistar Kai'Sa has kill pressure against the Rakan and against the Heimerdinger. I mean, it feels like Heimerdinger and Rakan could just disengage whenever they wanted to engage and just kind of walk away, and you're taking turret damage the whole time, so they're even trading or over trading you when you try and engage on them. I didn't really understand that thought process in the bot lane matchup, but Afreeca Freecs probably went there and they're like, let's play our game. Speaking of our game, it brings me to the last two picks, which I don't like at all. I like that they targeted the mid lane, banning the Ryze and the LeBlanc. On the other side, Kuro was targeted, banning the Vel'Koz and the Galio. What I don't like is that, to be fair, at this point in the draft, you do not know that Camille is going into the top lane. That could very much be a Camille on Jankos in jungle. But knowing Wunder's reputation as a carry top laner, I think it's easy to assume that Wunder would be more likely to be bringing that Camille into the top lane than Jankos would be bringing it into the jungle. Your response to that is to pick Sion on your carry jungler, carry top laner. I can speak English today. English is a hard language. Did you guys know that? I don't know if you knew this, but English is a hard language. Sion, they pick Sion. They pick a tank matchup. Why are we picking a tank matchup? You have an amazing carry top laner. You're facing a carry top laner that will most likely be playing a carry, and you bring out the Sion. I don't like it. Put Keen on a carry. Then you pick the Zoe. The nerfed Zoe. Why are Korean teams still picking the Zoe? There's better time. Come on, Kuro. The extent of your champion pool can't be Vel'Koz and Zoe. Come on, Kuro. I know you can play more champions than that. I know you can do it. You don't have to pick the Zoe and the Vel'Koz. The Zoe's not... can the Zoe do well? Yes. But is it top S tier mid laner? No, in my opinion, it isn't a top tier S laner. And, you're putting against the Syndra. Now Zoe kind of feels like, with its nerfed kit, it feels like a not as good Syndra. I feel like that's why, when Zoe got nerfed, a ton of people went to playing the Syndra. Because they're like, man, Zoe throws out a skill shot stun, and then tries to pop you up by getting as much distance as possible on her Q. Well, you know who else does that? Syndra. Syndra has a ball, has a ball that stuns you, and she has an ultimate that pops you. Best part about it is her ultimate isn't a skill shot, it's a point and click ability. It's like Zoe, but easier. And since Zoe's damage is nerfed, it's better, or about the same, maybe. It takes less skill. Woo! Yes, less skill. Woo! So he picks the Syndra, and you pick the Zoe into the Syndra. So basically, you're picking Diet Syndra against Syndra. I really like that. I'm gonna be really hurting Zoe right now. I'm sorry, Zoe. You're probably gonna cry. But I don't like that pick at all. I don't really like the Afreeca's draft at all this match, and I really think that my expectations after seeing this draft kind of played out in the game perfectly. You see just across the board, when you look at their CS their gold, comparing these teams side by side, their objective control with dragons and barons, they were just not there. Look, if you look at the gold graph, this is a gameplay point. I don't like your draft, but that doesn't mean you can't win with it. This is a team comp that can win. It's a team comp that can do well. I don't think it suits Afreeca Freecs well. I don't think it does at all. But their gold graph is a story of a team that did nothing. This is a 36-minute game of nothing. All that the G2 gold graph shows, you see the red, slowly you see the blue. Okay, Afreeca's got little early leads, not much early leads, probably a few hundred gold only. They're and then is the sound of G2 Esports taking your life slowly because they're taking everything on the map You're not having the objective control. You're not mashing the pressure on the map. And they're just slowly whittling you out. They're making the aggressive plays they need to play and slowly beating you. This is a gold graph of not somebody being stomped, but this is a gold graph of somebody that does nothing and just slowly loses the game. It felt like watching this game and the next one too. I'm going to make the same complaint about the next one. And you know what? Before I even show anything, I'm going to go ahead and throw up the gold graph right now for the next game. Look, it looks nearly the exact same. If I took these two graphs and I put them on the same piece of graph paper, they would look like mirror images of one another. I would have a really funky looking funnel or a funky looking vase. This was also an identical story of the Afreeca Freecs not being proactive like they needed to be, having a very close game at the beginning, and then the game just slowly going in the favor of Flash Wolves. Like, it felt like both these games, Afreeca Freecs weren't playing the game to win, they were playing the game not to lose. I mean, I felt like for both of these teams, in both of their team comps, and I'll talk about the draft in Flash Wolves for a second, I feel like Afreeca Freecs didn't draft very well. And you go into this game being like, man, we didn't draft very well. I don't know if that's their mindset. Their mindset might have been, we got exactly what we wanted. Good job, guys. Let's go in and play this game. And they're like, I'm just going to sit in lane. I'm going to sip on some tea. And I'm going to eat like a bagel. And we're just going to relax this out. No! Why? Play your match. Play aggressive. Take your leagues. Force it. I get that you want to play towards the late game. But, I mean, just looking at the Afreeca Freecs team, and like your late game's Kai'Sa. When G2 Esports is clearly playing a game where they want to fight you probably in the mid game. They don't want you to get the game late. They have a Heimerdinger, a Camille, a Syndra, a Gragas. These are all champions, and a Rakan, of course. These are all champions that have pick potential. These are all champions that can stop you from wanting to play your game, wanting to play your I'm going to stall out the world until we get to 50 minutes and we fight each other at 6 items and whoever wins that team fight wins. They're not going to let you play that game. They have a clear mid-game fight competition, and you just didn't show up to play to counter that style at all. You're like, nah, we can wave clear. We got a Sion. He's got big wave clear. We got Zoe. After she gets a couple items, she can wave clear. We got Kai'Sa for those late game fights. We got Alistar for those late game fights. We got Talia for a little bit of picks to get a little bit of gold so we can get our items for our late game. No! Stop! Come on, Afreeca Freecs. I feel like I'm being very, very aggressive on the Afreeca Freecs right now. But part of it's for comedic purposes. At the same time, part of it is a genuine frustration. But now, I'm going to jump right into their second game, where they, after losing to G2 Esports, I was like, okay, you didn't respect the Heimerdinger ban. Go into this game, we're going to stick with the Urgot ban, and we're going to stick with the Sion ban. Let's ban Sion. Let's not pick it away. You know, Keen did not look good on it, but Flash Wolves looked very, very good. They had a very good team built in their game 1. They smashed Fungbu Buffalo with the Sion mid. Respect this. Ban it away from Maple. Did they ban it away from Maple? No, they didn't. And they didn't ban the Urgot. You know what they did ban though? They banned the Aatrox. And after banning the Aatrox, Flash Wolves first picked Kai'Sa. And you might be like, oh, they first picked Kai'Sa. We banned Aatrox. We can put our carry top laner on arguably the best top laner in the meta right now. So let's first pick Xayah and Gragas and give them Urgot. That sounds like a great idea. No, it doesn't sound like a great idea. Why did we give them Urgot? Why did you guys give them Urgot? And then you guys give them their Sion. You guys don't pick away their Sion. You guys don't pick away their Urgot. It'd be better for you to just pick Sion and Urgot, throw Urgot in the jungle, and just see what happens. That would have been a better idea than giving them both these champions. Then you throw down. Then they get 2 playmakers in the bot lane. I don't really think that they banned you guys out of anything. They banned you Ryze, Darius, and Aurelia. I mean, unless Keen has been playing Darius in solo queue, like, was that his answer to Urgot? I mean, I don't really see. I mean, I don't know. After this game was over, both, I think it was Jet and Papa Smithy. Yeah, I think it was Jet and Papa Smithy were talking on the desk, and they were like, you know what? I really liked the composition from Afreeca Freecs. And I was like, what? my jaw dropped when they said that. I was like, in what world do you like it? They're like, it has I get that it has 2 damage on Vel'Koz, but who is Akali assassinating on this team? Oh, he's assassinating Kai'Sa. And then what does Akali do? If the Akali gets the kill on Kai'Sa, and you manage not to fall behind in your early game, in the bot lane, and not get the Kai'Sa ahead, and your Akali does not fall behind to the Urgot, which I don't know what Akali does to Urgot. I don't know if they thought this was their counter Urgot, but it clearly wasn't their counter Urgot. Urgot clearly did not do anything this match. Or no, Akali clearly didn't do anything this match. I don't know why I said Urgot. Akali didn't do much in this match, and Akali ended up dying early to Urgot from Lee Sin gank. So, like, that was a bad pick in my opinion. The Olaf was alright. The Xayah was okay. I didn't like the Gragas, especially because it ended up being support Gragas. Like, you have Spirit, the guy that innovated Predator Gragas into the meta as a counter to Talia. First game, he picks Talia with Gragas open. Second game, he picks Gragas, but then they flex it into support. And into this Shen Xayah match, they bring, or the Shen Kai'Sa match, they bring Xayah Gragas. I mean, Kai'Sa just wants the wave clear, and Shen wants to ult all over the map. I don't think Vel'Koz is doing good against the Sion in lane early. I get that you have your true damage, so you can burst through all of this tankiness late game, but, okay, where's your lockdown? What is keeping them in Vel'Koz ultimate? What is stopping these tanks from just walking up and just going, pop, you're no longer, I'm going to taunt you, I'm going to knock you up, I'm going to flip you, like, I'm going to kick you away. What is stopping these 4 tanks, and 1 off tank, Lee Sin, kind of tank, from just walking up and just interrupting your ultimate? What are you going to have, Gragas just burst them away, burst them out of the ultimate with the cast? Are you going to have Olaf run menacingly so they run out of your ultimate? Because, I mean, Xayah can snare them in your ultimate. Okay, there's a little bit of synergy there. But Akali's going to be, while you're ulting all the tanks and the tanks are disrupting your ultimate so you do 0 damage, Akali's going to be jumping into the middle of the tanks trying to kill the Kai'Sa. And if she manages to kill the Kai'Sa, now she's dead because she's in the middle of 4 tanky tank champions, including one that as soon as you get 24%, he just clicks a button and you're immediately dead. Like, it doesn't matter. You can be obstructed. You're still getting pulled in and dying because you're at 25% up and it's a guaranteed execute. I am being comically overly harsh on Afreeca Freecs right now. Overly harsh, 100%. I understand that I am being... Really quick, I'm just going to interrupt my past self as I'm editing this video. And I wanted to add in that one of the big mistakes that I also think Afreeca Freecs is making is that Spirit's been spending a lot of time around his bot side of the map and mid lane rather than putting that effort into Keen. So the first game, he picked Sion, not a carry, when really they should be putting him on a carry because that's what he is. He's more of a carry style playing top laner. But in the first game, they choose not to put him on that carry. In the second game, however, they do decide to put him on a carry, and still, Spirit did not play around him. This was a big mistake, is that Afreeca is not utilizing this heavy carry player, which is another mistake and another thing that they can really improve on moving forward as they continue in the rest of their games. And it's a big factor that could be the difference between them going 0-6 or going 4-2 in the last few games to finish out really this 8-day week. All right, I'm going to let my past self continue, and here we go. Too hard, I feel, on Afreeca right now, but I think that is what Afreeca needs right now. I think Afreeca needs some tough love. Someone needs to tell these guys and be like, what are you doing with your life, Afreeca Freecs? We can be better than this. I know you can be better than this. You guys finished 3rd place and then 2nd place. You guys were a very consistent team in Korea. You guys qualified based on points. You didn't win a split, but you barely missed out on the finals, the first split, and then you made the finals, the 2nd split. You're a team that was improving, and you guys are not showing the innovation or improvement right now on the world stage. And I think the rest of Korea, I don't think that all these teams outclasses the rest of Korea. I don't think it's KT and everyone else is worse than the rest of the world stage. I don't think you guys aren't familiar with this competition. I think you're just not respecting them during the pick and ban phase, giving a respect ban towards the Maple and the Scion, banning the Urgot if you're not going to pick it. That's a respect ban because it's a strong champion against any top laner. Any top laner can probably go up there and be successful with it. And you're not banning the respect Heimerdinger in the first match. Like, what are you doing, Afreeca Freecs? Like, you guys have the ability to come back. There's more than enough games. You guys have the ability to finish 4-2 in this group. I think you guys can do it. I know you guys can do it. I think you guys will do it. If I looked at my predictions, if I looked at my pick'ems for Group A, the only change that I would make is I would take Afreeca Freecs and I would switch them to being second, and I would put Flash Wolves as first. That's the only thing I would change after these first 2 days. Flash Wolves looked better than I expected, just by a little bit. I already expected them to be good, and I think Afreeca Freecs is looking to worse, but it is not over for Afreeca Freecs. I don't think it's over. I could be wrong, and they could go 0-6, and they could do absolutely nothing, but I think Afreeca Freecs can bounce back from these 2 losses. And let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching. Remember the video, comment the video, and subscribe so you never miss another episode of Chase Talks. Until next time, this is Chase, signing out.